Hello, my name is Connor. I'm 20 years old. I'm an ex-atheist and I currently identify as Christian.
Hi, my name is Brian Morgan. I'm 47 years old. I'm an ex-Christian and I now identify as somewhere between agnostic, atheist, spiritual, somewhere in there.
Where did you grow up? I was born and raised in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. It's very suburban, so when I say Massachusetts, everyone thinks Boston, but it's an hour west of Boston. It's a pretty large suburban town, mostly white people, so I ran for the hills, literally and metaphorically.
I grew up in Washington State, moved around a lot, all over the West Coast. I think Wyoming is as far east as I went as a kid. But yeah, mostly West Coast, Washington, kind of the home base. What was your primary religion growing up?
My mom identifies as Catholic, but she never pushed the religion onto me. For the longest time, I was actually, when I was little, I didn't think about it, but then once I started becoming a teenager and kind of developing my own ideas and kind of identifying as who I am as a gay man, I kind of thought religion was terrifying, especially of the things that I heard. I thought I wanted to avoid that at all costs and I didn't want to identify as that, so that's why I was strictly atheist and I was like a proud atheist.
Christianity, mostly evangelical Christianity, a little bit of Baptist, a little bit of non-denominational. I had leadership roles growing up in the church, just in high school even. I was head of some youth group functions and things like that. I had a father figure as a youth pastor, and that led me into becoming a youth pastor myself right out of college for 2 years, and it was not a good fit. It was something I idealized in this person, and I thought I could be like him, and I wasn't cut out for it.
What led you to change your beliefs? The defining moment is when I moved to San Diego actually last year. I was in an Uber driver and I was talking to the Uber about religion and all this stuff, and we got talking and I loved what she was saying, and it was very open and it was very the same mindset and idea that I had, but instead of being atheist, she was Christian, and she actually brought me to church. So I went to church with the Uber driver, and after that I got the Bible and I started reading the Bible and I started going to church with her and all this stuff, and it sounds like it was a quick, easy change. I mean, before that it was in my mind, but she really guided me, and also she showed me this path she was like a normalized and like an easygoing and accepting Christian. So I was like, okay, I can be this and I like this, and it's a comforting idea. Now it's funny, every Uber driver I get in, I'm like, this is a lesson here. Like, I honestly believe like Ubers are God sent.
So this is tricky. It happens instantaneously and over time. I think the biggest precipitating factor was about 3 years ago. A big job change was going to happen. I had some prophecies that told me that was going to happen, and then that all fell through. And so it got me questioning, why did that happen? Why did these prophecies happen? Why did God tell me this was going to happen and then it didn't? And then I turned that pain outward and looked into the world. The question of suffering just was never thoroughly answered for me. Why doesn't he take care of cancer? Why doesn't he take care of kids getting shot in schools? And it was painful to see that God didn't care. What does your family think of your change of beliefs?
It's funny, I kind of came out as a Christian to my family, which is a little funny. My mom, she was never pushing religion onto me, but when I told her, I think she was happy, just because I think just finding religion for her means finding a path and finding guidance and things, and especially with the things I was going through, she thought it was good for me, and it was. My sisters were skeptical because my sisters are atheists, so they were what's going on here, but they're all very accepting, and my grandma loves it.
This one's kind of tough because we're in process right now. I have 4 kids, teens and adults, and they are mostly dealing okay with it, although there's some sticking points. I was nervous, especially telling the kids. When I made that decision though, it was a positive decision. I felt free, and I was excited to share that freedom with others, but at the same time, it was complicated.
How has your life changed since you switched your beliefs? It's funny, now I've always been a grateful and appreciative boy and everything, but now more than ever, I thank God for everything. Even a bed and a food, or this whole opportunity is amazing, and I see everything also as this higher power of the divine timing of it, and this is supposed to be happening, and even though crazy things happen, things suck when they happen, but God has lessons to be taught and to be learned, and I look at it that way. So now I look at everything as a learning opportunity, and that I truly believe that this is all supposed to be happening, and that even right now there's something to be learned, or even on the walk here there was something to be learned. So it's kind of I'm more open and more reflective, I guess, on things, and I'm looking at things from a larger perspective, not just me in my own life, like very small. It's more of like, there's a bigger thing going on here.
I'm in the middle of this. So the change, I don't know yet how it's changed. It still feels very fresh. It's mostly like positive energy I'm feeling right now, just this freedom to explore like who I am. I'm asking myself for the first time, like, what do I want? Whereas for the longest time it was, what do other people want, and how do I serve other people, and the first shall be last, etc. Things that I used to believe that kept me non-autonomous, and I'm becoming more autonomous and more myself. What role, if any, does spirituality play in your life?
Spirituality is huge, and I think it's all connected. I think spirituality is the same as God, is the same as Buddha, is the same as Allah. I think it's all just like one big thing. I think it's just the identification of it is changing in between people, but you know, I think also now more than ever, spirituality is becoming this thing, and I think religion is kind of taking like a downfall because I think religion can be intimidating. I'm a very spiritual person, but I just identify it as God and Jesus Christ and Mother Mary.
I've used this word several times, process. I'm in process now, and spirituality to me means things like listening when friends tell me what my astrological sign means. I don't know if I believe that yet, but I'm at least like contemplating that. I think that there's a connection for sure in the universe and between people. There's so much order and beauty, and I think that things in this universe gravitate toward that. And so there's some kind of force, I think, that is behind that. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's intelligent or if it's just science or what, but life is beautiful, and I'm glad to be a part of it. What is the biggest misconception about your beliefs?
I think some of the misconceptions are actually truths, which is the scary part, which is why I was atheist at first. You know, there's extremists for everything and anything, and especially with religions, but I think what people fail to look at and realize is that that's not everyone's relationship with God. Misconceptions are based off of the people that are just talking louder than everyone else. There's a lot of like racist Christians, a lot of like homophobic Christians and like transphobic Christians, and it's like, you're not listening to what we're saying, and it's like you're interpreting this Bible to be what you want. I don't believe that God would want you to hate someone. I think that this is the complete opposite idea of religion.
I think a lot of people think that something bad must have happened, that I'm jaded, that somebody burned me, and it's none of those things. It's just that I started listening to my own thoughts and giving them credit.
What do you think about people who believe differently than you? I love it. Now that I did see change, I'm always open to learning other things, and I love admitting that I'm wrong. I love changing because it's like, that's the point of life. I think there's like growth here, and I think all this stuff, and I think that that's how you become the best person you can be, is changing and learning and growing from everyone.
I think I'm more open to people who believe differently than me now. Since I'm kind of in this rebound phase right now, I'm a little, not jaded toward my past beliefs in Christianity, but I'm finding myself not gravitating toward people who believe those things. That'll probably change over time. So I'd say my tolerance level is a little less for my past beliefs than it is toward beliefs I don't understand yet.
What do you think is after death? That's hard. I think about that a lot often, especially because my sister passed away. It sounds like some people, it sounds crazy too, but I do feel her all the time. She sends me little signs, and it's like, call me crazy, but it's like through music or through like anything, it's undeniable. I truly believe that there is an afterlife. What it is, I'm not sure of, because I think that reincarnation is possible, because I think energy is neither created nor destroyed, so it's all circling somewhere. Heaven and hell seems insane to me. Maybe a heaven. I don't think anyone would ever go to hell. That seems kind of barbaric.
I don't know is the best answer to this, but these are my guesses right now, is that we're all part of something bigger, and that our thoughts, our physicality, our essence, at least has a mark on the universe. I don't think there's an afterlife. I don't think there's a heaven where we all get to walk on streets of gold or things like that, but I think what we do is important, and that it will always be important. I used to believe that this life was only a shadow of the future, that this was the thing we had to endure to get to the better thing in the future, and this is beautiful right now, and it's worth living. What would you say to someone who is questioning?
I would say just to be open and to learn, and to not, it's good to take in other people's perspectives and other people's opinions, but kind of have sort of tunnel vision on your goals and on what you want to come out of this, because You know, I was influenced by someone else, but, you know, I took what I wanted and then it wasn't completely her decisions. There's a lot of things in the organized religion of Christianity that I don't agree with, so it's try to just focus on your own personal relationship with the God or of the Spirit or whatever you choose, because if you're influenced by others, I think that's when it gets lost in the sauce and you become this kind of extremist or you become this like crazy person, and I think that's what you don't want to become.
To someone who's questioning, I would say keep questioning, trust your instincts. You're smart, you're capable, you are good, exactly as you are, and your thoughts are good. Your questions are good, don't be afraid of them.